Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Gilmore here for my second and final video of the night. This time on the Peter Gilmore YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button down below, and follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. And smash that bell and turn on all my notifications so you never miss an upload. So smash that bell, subscribe, hit that like button to death, and that's all you gotta do. Follow me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Share this video with all your friends. And that's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this late Friday night, December the 17th, 2020, if you're watching somewhere else, February the 18th, 2020, check out my Monday Night Raw review on the Killer of Demons 669 channel. Link is down below in the description box, so send your love and support to that video. Leave your questions if you have any wrestling questions or any general questions you want to ask me. Put it down below in the comment section of this video or that video, or hit me up via Twitter and Facebook, and get to your questions in due time. So send lots of questions, 4 or 5 questions max, and we'll get to your questions in due time. And that's all I gotta say about that. All right, but right now, hope you all sitting down and watching. If not, well, you suck. So, right now, it is time for late, out of date, AEW Dynamite! Bash at the Beach. For January the 15th, 2020 from Miami, Florida. Yes, Bash at the Beach is back, but this time under the AEW umbrella. And it was a great show. This was a good show. A precursor to the Jericho Cruise, which happens this Wednesday night on the program, with a lot of things happening on that show. We got a tag title match. We got Jon Moxley and Pok going at it again, and we'll see what happens with that. We got more with Jon Moxley on this show. Some interesting things happening with Jericho, and at the end of this show, Jon Moxley became a pirate, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, this was a good show. The ratings showed for it, even though they were a little bit down from last week. Last week they got 947,000 viewers compared to NXT's 721,000 views. This week, AEW won again. They had 940,000 views. It was 940. Let me check my my data on that. At 940,000 views, and NXT drew 700,000 views, so they lost about 20,000 views each on both programs. But still, AEW wiped the floor with NXT again. And what are you gonna do? NXT is getting destroyed right now. Over the last couple weeks, over the first couple weeks of first 2 weeks of 2020, AEW has been phenomenal right now. What you think about it, the first 3 weeks of AEW, because they had the New Year's Eve edition, they had last week's show, and they had this week's show. So they've won the last 3 weeks of programming, and NXT had the New Year's Awards, and they had last week's big show, and they had this week's show. So they're just getting viewers, but not getting a lot of viewers. They're getting only 700,000. They're not getting like they did on the Christmas edition of the show, which almost got 1 million views. But it is what it is. So AEW hovering around the 1 million mark, which is good. Hopefully it can stay there for the next couple months. We'll see what happens with that. And yeah, let's get into the card, not the card. Let's get into the show. And we start off with a fatal 4-way match for the #1 contendership to the tag team titles that SCU has. So the winner faces SCU next week on the program. We have the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, taking on Proud and Powerful LAX, Santana and Ortiz, taking on Kenny Omega and Adam Page of the Elite, and best friends Chucky T and Trent with Orange Cassidy at ringside. This was a great match to open the show. Very fun match. These guys showed why AEW's tag team division is better than WWE's tag team division. They went at it like crazy. It's also with Trent and Nick Jackson. They trade shoulder tackles and Trent takes them down. Then they counter each other. Nick takes control. They have a standoff, and they tag out. Adam Page and Chucky T come in. Page hits some shoulder tackles and a 4-way slam. Then he tags out to Kenny. Matt Jackson comes in. They fist bump. They actually do battle. They lock up, and then Santana and Ortiz attack from behind. They throw everybody to the floor. Well, not everybody. They take control of Kenny. Then Nick Jackson blind tags in. He and Kenny double team Santana. Then Ortiz attacks, gets cut off by Kenny. Kenny and the Bucks work him over. So elite take over. And the legal men are Trent and Matt Jackson. And then Nick tags in for a double team on Trent. The Bucks work some quick tags, isolating Trent. And hits a bunch of rolling Northern Light suplexes. And Trent counts into a tornado DDT. Chucky T comes in with some suplexes, slice split number 2. Powerbomb for 2. As Ortiz makes a save. Then the best friends go to work with some double teams until Santana and Ortiz attack them. They dump everybody. And they cut off Matt with a rolling diamond cutter. Some more double teams by the Young Bucks. A suicide cannonball by Ortiz. And a dive by Santana to take everybody out. They go back in. Ortiz works over Matt. Falls over some back rakes. And Santana hits a senton atomico. So they're working over Matt for a little bit. Now Matt dumps Ortiz. Spears Santana. Goes for the tag. But Ortiz cut him off. Hits a springboard stunner. And then Matt eventually gets the tag to Kenny, which pissed off Adam Page. So I thought that Adam Page was gonna leave, but it is what it is. It's gonna eventually happen though. The turn of Adam Page is gonna happen probably at Revolution. It happen next week. We don't know. But anyway, Kenny comes in. He runs wild, hits some Snapdragon suplexes, and then another one. Trent comes in. He eats a Snapdragon suplex, and then Adam Page finally joins in for some double teams. Page then flies to the floor with a moonsault off the top rope. Ortiz takes out Kenny. Santana falls with a step-up dive. And then Nick and Chuck follow with some with stereo dives. And everybody's going nuts. And Trent and Matt work up top. Trent superplexes him onto the floor, onto everybody. Crowd goes nuts. I actually marked out for that move, but it is what it is. And then Trent goes to work on Kenny with a running knee strike. Chucky T joins in until Adam Page makes a save. We get Rick Knox gets hit in the face. Then we get an 8-man suplex spot, and then Orange Cassidy comes in the ring, puts his hand in his pants, and then goes into the pile. And we have a 9-man suplex, which was phenomenal. AJ Styles phenomenal, but fucking epic. I marked out for that. He kips up, and then we get the best friends hug. Then the big camera Okada-like pullback of the camera. Got that. That was great. And much needed. Then they hit double gotch power drives on Kenny and Adam Page. Hit Kenny with strong zero. They look to have the win, but the Bucks make the save. And then Matt and Chuck tag in. They trade, and Adam Page hits the buckshot lariat on Chuck. Not the buckshot lariat, excuse me. He hits a regular lariat on Chuck. Trent and hits a clothesline on Page. Ortiz pokes Trent's eyes, and Santana joins in, double teaming them until Nick cuts off Santana. And then Ortiz power bombs him and then Matt runs wild with some super kicks. Then everybody's in the ring. The Bucks go for the Meltzer driver, who gets countered. And Adam Page blind tags in. Get the buckshot lariat, V-trigger combination. 1, 2, 3. They get the win. They are the new more contenders for the tag team belts. See you, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky next week on the Jericho Cruise, which should be a great match. On the cruise, which actually happens this Tuesday. It's Monday and Tuesday on the Jericho Cruise, but they'll tape the taping on Tuesday. But we'll see a taped edition of of AEW Dynamite next week. It's not gonna be live on the boat. I don't think it's gonna be live, but they'll say it's live, but it is what it is. But it's gonna be on the boat. So should be a good match. I think it's gonna end the night, but we'll see what happens. I won't be surprised if they start off the night with the tag team title match like they usually have done. But Kenny Omega and Adam Page get the win, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win the belts, and then they hold the belts for a while, they lose them back, they lose them to the Dark Order or to somebody. Then that's the eventual heel turn of Adam Page, and then we get Adam Page, Kenny Omega at Revolution. But we'll see what happens with that. But we'll see what happens with that. So, like I said, I gave this match 4.25 out of 5 stars. Great way to open the night. And from there, the show was kind of up and down, but still good. And that's all I got to say about that. And we move on from there. Alright, after that, we get a man, Cody Rhodes. He comes out in his best looking Don Johnson outfit. He's a member of Miami Vice. So he comes out and he says that Arn was right when he said the people want this match, him and MJF. Cody admits that he was a bit full of himself and MJF has named his price and it was a little bit expensive. They show MJF's demands on the screen, which was can't touch MJF till Revolution. He gets 10 lashes on live TV. And he faces Wardlow in a cage match. So they show them demands, and he talks about the steel cage match with Wardlow. He's a bit surprised, thinks MJF is afraid that Wardlow will actually outshine MJF. So as for the 10 lashes on live TV, he accepts that. He can't touch MJF until the pay-per-view, and that's fine, because he lives rent-free in his head. So I guess he accepted the steel cage match as well. He says MJF is stalling, and he's looking for stardom, thinking he's an old-school heel. But Cody says less isn't more with MJF kind of stealing something from Kevin Owens, I guess. Kevin Owens or Kevin Sullivan or something like that. He says his best friend, Kevin. So I guess it had to be Kevin Owens. But we'll see what happens with that. Calls MJF lazy. So he accepts all the stipulations. And he says the match means he failed as a mentor. This is not MJF's story, and at the pay-per-view, he will give MJF his own goddamn scar. And that was it. So a very spirited promo from Cody, like he always does. Very spirited and outspoken. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Very good. And we'll have to see what happens next week on the program with Cody and MJF. We'll see when that cage match will be. It could be on the Jericho Cruise. It could be in Atlanta on February the 19th, the day before, 10 days before the pay-per-view, which we'll see, because they're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, in Atlanta, GA, come February 19th, and then as we turn the month over to March, they're going to be in New Jersey on, I believe, early March, so get your tickets now for the show in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center, if you're all going. I think that's going to sell out easily. I'm not going, so I don't have, I would go, but I don't have the money right now, and I'm saving up for it in this moment, among other things, for my vacation later on, and some CDs. I want to get Ozzy CD, In This Moment CD, which is coming out sometime in the next couple months. But we'll see what happens with that. So, get that. And maybe if Ring of Honor comes back to New York in the summertime, or maybe we'll get New Japan coming back this summer. But we'll see what happens with that, and we move on. So, like I said, 3 out of 5 stars for Cody's response to MJF, and we'll see what MJF has to say for himself as we move on from there. Alright, after that, we got a Joey Janela promo, and he cuts a promo on Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Basically, he dares Kip to come after him, and he knows his record wasn't good, and next week he faces Phoenix, and things are going to change for him, and he will show everyone why he's a bad boy. So maybe he's going to go back to his bad boy Joey Janela days, hopefully, but we'll see what happens with that. Even though Penelope Ford is not with him, eventually I think she will get with him eventually, but because Joey needs Penelope more than Penelope needs Joey, if that is anything. But Penelope's getting some butt from Kip Sabian as of right now, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. And we'll see what happens next week with Joey Janela and Phoenix. Should be a good match. And we'll see what happens with that. With them and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford probably be waiting in the wings, or probably maybe coming out, maybe costing Joey the match, and maybe they'll have a match at Revolution coming up, but we'll see. So like I said, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that, and we move on from there. And that's it. Alright, then we get to our next match. Andy Rhodes and Melody Cruz, or as they call her now, Mel, with Luther at ringside, the Nightmare Collective, taking on Hickory Shida and Chris Statlander. And match was, the women's division is a joke right now. And this match wasn't even that good. It's also with Mel and Brandy attacking Chris Statlander as Hickory Shida takes out Luther with some candlestick shots. Hickory Shida hits the ring. Mel takes control, tossing her around, delivering strikes. There's a lot of botching in this match. And, anyway, Hickory Shida was in control. Hits a hurricane and Statlander attacks on the floor. Hickory Shida runs off a chair and hits a running knee strike. They go back in. They double drop kick Mel, cover for 2. Then Shida falls for some kicks. Brandy then distracts Hickory Shida and Mel hits a big boot. She follows up with a leg drop. Brandy tags in, covers for a near fall. Then her and Mel work some double team moves on Hickory Shida. As we go to break, we come back. Mel covers for a near fall after a final cut. Hickory Shida fights back, hits a knee strike, tags in Chris Statlander. Brandy then begs off, and Chris Statlander follows with a head kick, a clothesline, and a Michinoku driver for a near fall as Mel makes the save. Hickory Shida takes out Mel with a missile dropkick that comes up really short. She barely grazed her, I think. Brandy then hits a spear for a near fall. Melanie tags in, hits a catatonic for a near fall. And they go to the ropes. Hickory Shida cuts her off, follows her up, and hits a superplex. Then Chris Statlander comes in, hits a knee strike for a near fall, as Brandy makes a save. She gets dumped to the outside, and Tony makes her own comeback, but Chris Statlander counts into the Big Bang Theory for the win. And looked like at one point Tony forgot to kick out. I don't know. There was like 8 botches of this whole match. This match was horrible, so I gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars. And yeah, I think ever since Brandy came in with the Nightmare Collective, I think the women's division just went downhill, and you have to blame Brandy on this. She is the chief branding officer. She is the one that's kind of running the women's division, even though Kenny's booking the whole thing. So you got really her and Kenny to blame. Well, you really can't blame Kenny for he's doing what he can. Even though he's banging Rio behind everybody's back, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll move on from there. And maybe we'll see if Chris Statlander can get her rematch with Rio. Maybe at the Revolution, but we'll see what happens. So like I said, 1.5 out of 5 stars for that suckfest. And that's all I gotta say about that. And we move on from there. Alright, then we got a video package of the Dark Order. Basically, they're talking about the various names they are after, like Christopher Daniels. And now they're actually talking about Adam Page. Interesting. So, we'll see what happens with that, as they are still looking for people to join their Dark Order and profess their allegiance to the Exalted One, which we still don't know who he is. And a lot of people saying it might be Matt Hardy, as the broken Matt Hardy character. So maybe it'd be the Exalted Matt Hardy. But I like to see it be Matt Hardy. If not, maybe Christopher Daniels. But we'll see what happens with that. So, we move on from there. Alright, then we get the start of a mini number 1 contenders mini tournament going on. We have Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara starting off. This match was pretty good. Pretty good match between Sammy and Jon. Sammy attacks at the bell, delivering strikes until Moxley lights him up with some chops. Sammy picks up the pace, runs into a lariat. And then Moxley takes over for a little bit, do some ground and pound kicks, covers for a near fall. Chokes out Sammy in the ropes. Sammy fires back, hits a springboard diamond cutter. The toe break on Hito falls, and they go back in. Sammy teases something from the top rope, drops down, and Moxley attacks. Hits a knee trembler and a dump suplex for a near fall. Goes to the apron, Sammy counters and hits Meteor off the ropes to the apron as they spill to the floor. He throws Moxley to the barricade, then the steps, then he does his Spanish God pose in the ring. Moxley comes back in, and Sammy comes for a near fall. Does some ground and pound. Hits a squatting Samoan drop for a near fall. He dumps Moxley to the floor. He throws popcorn at him. It's popcorn. And then he sends Moxley into the ring post. They go back in, Sammy heads up top. Moxley cuts him off, follows with a superplex. And Moxley goes to work on Sammy, but then Sammy counters like German and hits a running shooting star press for a near fall. Moxley counters a move, hits the OG Dirty Deeds, done dirt cheap, for a near fall. Work up top, Sammy counters and hits the Spanish Fly off the top rope, like Joel Maximo. That was pretty nice. They counter each other again. And then Sammy hits a GTS variation. Trying to steal my move, aren't you, Sammy? That gets a near fall. Sammy goes up top. He hits a moonsault. Moonsaults in. Moxley traps him with a rear naked choke for the win. So an interesting little finish with that. It's, a new move from Moxley. A little submission move. So he gets the win. Match I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. Sammy got a little shine on him. Moxley deserves to win and continue on in the tournament. And we'll see what happens with him as we move on from there. But afterwards, the lights go out, and the Inner Circle comes in. We have Jericho, Jake Hager, Santana and Ortiz, Sammy Guevara joins in afterwards. They beat the crap out of Moxley. Jericho whips him with the AEW title belt. Hager hits a low blow into the nuts of Moxley with a knee strike. Sammy then slaps him a few times, and then Jericho gets a spike from his jacket. I knew that was going to come into play sometime. And they're holding him up, and then Jericho goes boom right into the eye of Moxley. Moxley's grabbing his eye in pain. And then officials arrive, they check on Moxley. So it continues the angle and the storyline with Moxley and Jericho over the belt. A very good storyline progression there. And we'll see what happens with that. So I gave the Aftermath 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then we go to break, we come back. Moxley's being helped to the back, and then he's put in an ambulance. And we got replays of that. We go backstage. Jericho says this was all Moxley's fault for what he did last week by basically tricking Jericho into thinking that he was going to join the Inner Circle. He says Jericho says he disrespected them and signed his death warrant. And he says Pok and Dhabi can thank him for this because they can kick the crap out of Moxley next week. And he says next week he's going to destroy Jurassic Express and take out Jungle Boy. Still going on with Jungle Boy, I don't know why. On the Jericho Cruise. And then Sammy starts hitting on Jen Decker. He's like, hit me up. I don't think Jen Decker wants to go out with Sammy Guevara. I highly doubt that, but you never know. And that's pretty much it. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. So we'll see what happens between Pok and Darby Allin coming up in a little bit. And also next week, whoever faces Jon Moxley. And then we got the Jericho and maybe Sammy Guevara and maybe Jake Hager taking on Jurassic Express of Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. See what happens with that. I think Jungle Boy and Jurassic Express will get the win. And over Jericho, maybe Jungle Boy gets another win over Jericho. We'll see what happens with that. And we're gonna move on from there. So I give that 3 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. All right, then we go to the ring with our next match: MJF The Butcher and the Blade with Ali with the bunny Ali at ringside, taking on Diamond Dallas Page, bang, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. We had Wardlow as well at ringside, with MJF, and the bunny at ringside as well. MJF is wearing "I Banged Dallas's Daughter" shirt, which is hilarious. Not well, if not if you're Diamond Dallas Page, but it is what it is. It's also Diamond Dallas Page and MJF beginning. Then MJF gets right out of there, tags in the Butcher. MJF goes to the floor, then pops back in. Then QT Marshall and MJF lock up. MJF attacks with some strikes, a shoulder tackle. He works with some counters. MJF mocks QT Marshall and then pokes his eye a la Roddy Piper. Tags in the Blade. Go to work on Marshall. Marshall then comes back with a springboard high cross body. Tags in Dustin Rhodes, who takes control over the Blade. Then MJF comes in with some cheap shots with the diamond ring as Dustin gets dumped to the floor. While on the floor, the bunny slaps him as Wardlow attacks him. So basically 5-on-3, if you think about it. They go back in, the Butcher and the Blade fall with some double teams on Dustin for their fall. They maintain control, tagging in and out between the Butcher and the Blade. Chokes out Dustin on the ropes. MJF joins in for some double teams and grounds Dustin. He mocks Dustin like a perfectly smug a-hole that he is. Keeps him grounded until Dustin fights back, cuts him off, and then dumps MJF to the floor. I lost a spot. Notes. Okay, and then the Butcher takes out QT Marshall. Dustin power slams the Blade. Tags in Diamond Dallas Page. He goes to work on everybody, and just sells like $1 million from him. You know, he goes to the turnbuckle, he hits him on the turnbuckle, and then he just went boing. He fell, kind of like Shawn Michaels did when he was no selling everything from Hogan. Really pissed Hogan off, I heard. But here's what it is. He hits the Diamond Cutter on the Butcher. And then he looks to hit the Diamond Cutter on MJF, but MJF hits a low blow on the DDP. Dustin tags in, hits the Canadian Destroyer, and Page Diamond cuts MJF, but goes for the cover. Blade makes the save, and it all breaks down after that. Marshall hits the QT special. Page heads up top, flies onto the pile on the floor. And while this is happening, go back in. MJF cradles Marshall with a handful of tights for the win. So MJF, the Butcher, and the Blade, the cheap win over DDP, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. And match was pretty decent. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty fun match. Page at Diamond Dallas Page, 63 years old, kicking some freaking ass. Looked very good. You know, still doing that DDP yoga. It ain't your mama's yoga. It was also his first match on TV since he and Sean Waltman lost to Billy Gunn and Monty Brown on the April 15, 2004 episode of Impact. So it's been like 15 years since we saw DDP in a match, besides the Andre Giant Battle Royal, which was on pay-per-view. So we got that. So great to see DDP. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of him, but I think this was just a one-off match for him. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. So like I said, 3 out of 5 stars for the match, and we'll see what happens with that. Just, you know, more progression with MJF and Wardlow, and the Bunny and the Blade, blah blah blah. It is what it is. So a little bit of progression with that, and we move on from there. Alright, then we see drunk Adam Page, which is pretty funny. He interrupts an SCU interview, and Kenny makes the peace between them, and they agree to a gentleman's match next week. Well, we'll see what happens with that. And we move on from there. So I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we find out on the February 19th edition of AEW from Atlanta, like I mentioned, I actually mentioned, so it is true. In Atlanta, Cody will face Wardlow in a steel cage, brother. And we get that, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Alright, then after that, we get to the next mini tournament match. The number 1 contendership to Jericho's title. We had Pac versus Darby Allin. This was another great match. between these two high flyers. They lock up. Pac follows with some shoulder tackles. Darby picks up the pace, counters and hits a drop kick. Pac fights back with a backbreaker, tosses Darby across the ring. Darby cuts him off, hits another drop kick, follows with a suicide dive to the outside. And then another one. So a hurricane, Pac hedges him and whips him to the ring steps. Ow. They work on the steps. Pac powerbombs him onto the steps. Ow. That had to hurt. Then back in, Pac grounds and pounds on Darby. Darby fights back, makes the ropes. Pac fouls for more ground and pound offense. Comes Darby to the outside, whips him to the barricades. He rolls him back in, heads up top, hits a missile dropkick, and comes for a 2. And hits him up top on his shoulders. I guess looking for one-winged angel or something like that. Darby counts into a crucifix bomb. Then Darby goes up top, and then hits the coffin drop to the floor, which is sick. They go back in. Darby hits a soccer street cutter or stunner, whatever you want to call it. Then Code Red for a good near fall. And Pac traps him in the ring skirt, works him over, and they go back in, hits a lariat for a near fall. Darby battles back, counts into a cradle for a near fall. Then he locks on the Last Supper for a near fall. Whatever that move is. Pac counters the coffin drop into a German, fouls it with a wicked powerbomb for a near fall. He goes up top, Darby fouls, and they trade shots. Pac hits some headbutts, and then he hits the black arrow, or the red arrow, whatever you want to call it, the black arrow, and he gets the win off that. So Pac gets the win, and he will move on to face Jon Moxley next week on the Jericho Cruise to see who. I guess that's the final match, and see who will take on Jericho at Revolution. This match is pretty good. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So we got Mox and Pac next week. It should be a great match. And that's pretty much it. And then afterwards, this was the main event, by the way. And then afterwards, Tony Baloney, interviews Pac, who declares himself the new #1 contender, even though he thought Moxley was out. He says Mox won't be able to compete next week, so he's the top contender by forfeit, since Moxley got messed up. Says he's coming for Jericho and his championship. Go backstage, Mox is loaded into an ambulance, and the door's shut, but then he gets out of the ambulance, makes his way to the ring looking like a pirate, with his eye covered, makes his way into the arena, gets on the mic, he says he will be there next week no matter what, and he's going to kick Pac's ass as the title shot belongs to him. And that's it. So, nice way to end the show. So, I gave that 3.5 out of 5 stars. So, very good show for AEW, and also next week we found out that SCU will take on Omega and Page, and Moxley and Pac in the #1 contenders match in the finals of the tournament, which I think Moxley will win anyway, unless they do Jericho, Moxley, and Pac, which I don't think should happen. I think it should just be a straight up one-on-one match, Moxley versus Jericho, and Moxley wins the belt at Revolution, ending Jericho's 6-month reign as champion. Yeah, he won in August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 6 months. Just about 6-month reign as champion. So, with that, we'll see what happens with that on this coming Wednesday on the Jericho Cruise. So, should be some good action, and see what happens with that. And that's all I gotta say about that. I think it's gonna be the first time that wrestling has been on a boat on TV. I think it's the first time ever. I'm not exactly sure on that. Everybody knows. Put it down below in the comment section of this video. Let me know if it's the first time ever or it's happened before. But we'll see what happens with that. And don't tell me that thing with Yokozuna and Lex Luger from all the way back in 92, 93, or 94, whenever it was. That wasn't a show. That wasn't even televised, really. I mean, actually, it was televised, but it wasn't it wasn't really like a live show. It was an event. So this is a taped show. It's gonna be taped the day before. So about that, and that's it. And congratulations to Taz joining AEW for 3 years. got that. Also, we found out that AEW Dynamite is going to be on the air till 2023, so 4 more years of AEW. So that's great. Also, they're going to have a second show, so 2 shows a week. AEW is not going to be Dark, so Dark's going to stay on YouTube. Really got 3 shows if you think about it. So I don't know what the second show is. Is it going to be a recap show, like what the Control Center is, or what else? What it's going to be? I don't know. We'll have to find out when we find out more information about it. But that's all I got to say about that. So that's it for my review. Gave AEW 8 out of 10 stars. A very good show. Ratings went to AEW again this week, 940,000 to 700,000. And we'll see what happens next week on the Jericho Cruise. NXT's got Roderick Strong and Keith Lee for the North American title. Believe we got more stuff going into NXT Takeover Portland. We got a couple matches already announced. We got Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley for the women's title. We have Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor one-on-one. Should be some great stuff. Might have an NXT title match with Ciampa and Adam Cole, baby. That might happen. But I think the eventual end of the prophecy of Adam Cole's prophecy and all the belts that the Undisputed Era have will be going bye-bye by WrestleMania. Because we got the semifinals next week of the Dusty Rhodes tournament. I think the finals will be at Takeover Portland, and then that match might be on TV either before WrestleMania or at NXT Takeover Tampa Bay in April. But we'll see what happens with that. I'll do my NXT review probably either tomorrow or maybe Sunday. But we'll see what happens with that. Maybe got a lot of videos coming Sunday, but hopefully tomorrow before I go to WOW, probably around 1, 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock at latest, I'll do my NXT review and get that out of the way, get that set up for you guys so you can watch it tomorrow. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So thank you for watching. Once again, AEW gets 8 out of 10 stars, and we'll see what happens on the Jericho Cruise this Wednesday night on the program. And I'll do my review probably Thursday night. This coming Thursday night, after work, when I get home from work. I'll do my AEW, maybe my NXT review up the same night, since I'm off Friday. Well, I'll just do the AEW review next Thursday, and then do my NXT review next Friday. We'll see what happens with that. Because I got a lot of videos coming that weekend, so I want to get them all. I want to scratch them up, and I'll get them out to you hopefully in due time. But we'll see. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Check out my Raw review in the description box below on the Killer Demons channel. Continue to hit that subscribe button down below and smash that like button to death. Continue to friend me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And if you have any wrestling questions or any general questions, put it down below in the comment section of this video or on my Raw review or any one of my future videos if you want. Or your best bet, hit me up via Twitter or Facebook and send in your questions. If you're on Facebook, just type in Peter Gilmore. You'll find me somewhere. Send me your questions in a DM. In a PM, in a private message. If you're on Twitter, go to my Twitter link down below in the comments in the description box and send me a DM or a tweet, and I'll get to your questions in due time, and we'll have a nice little discussion. And that's it. But send in lots of questions, lots and lots of questions, and hopefully we'll get to a future Q&A down the road, and we'll see what happens with that. So thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. The start of your weekend begins now. Tomorrow, WOW New Beginnings tomorrow. Should be a good show in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. If you're going to that show, I know a lot of people on my Facebook are going to the show, so I'll say hello to them. Maybe take some autographs and pictures. I will be taking pictures from the show anyway, so I'll put them up on my Facebook probably late tomorrow night or early Sunday. You can check them out on my Facebook page, my main Facebook page. Not the fan page, but my regular Facebook page. And that's that. And Sunday, football Sunday. We got the AFC and NFC title games. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans at 3 o'clock. 3:30, I think it is. And then we got the Niners. Yes, the Niners and the Packers later in the night game to see who goes to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, right after the Royal Rumble. And hopefully it's the Niners, and I think it's going to be the Chiefs. But we shall see. Anything can happen in football, but we'll see. I'm hoping the Niners beat the crap out of the Packers again. And maybe, it's a toss-up between Kansas City and Tennessee. Tennessee was very good against the Patriots. And then they did very good against the Ravens, exploiting them and exposing them. So maybe they didn't expose the Chiefs this week. But we'll see what happens. I would love to see the Niners and the Titans. I think the Niners will beat them easily. But then again, you never know. But Super Bowl's coming up. Hoping the Niners get in so I can go to my brother's house and have a nice good time at his house with some good food and a lot of back down on my Niners shirt. I don't have a hat yet, but I'm gonna get a hat eventually, and some new jerseys I'm gonna get for Christmas from him, hopefully. But that's all I gotta say about that. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace. Shut up now. Bye bye. Peace, fuckers.